Adam and Todd, ready to make a change. In the heart of the desert where the sweat drips like rain. Talking fitness and coaching, finding strength in every stride. We'll pump up your motivation, take you on a wild ride. Fit Talk, here we go. It's time to get in the zone. Rocking and rolling will help you find your own.
All right, we're on.
We're live?
We're live.
Okay, let's kickstart this thing then. So welcome to the Saturday Fitness Talk Show. Todd, it's always nice to be in your company.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you. We're back again.
Back again.
Still going.
Yeah, we're still going.
Still going. We've done.
We're going strong.
5th episode.
Is it?
I think it makes us the top 1% of podcasts now.
Or the bottom 1%? Are we the
either
top
way.
of the bottom or the bottom of the top?
I don't know. I think we're aiming to be the bottom 1%.
Or the bottom of the bottom.
Yeah, the bottom of the bottom. Yeah, still the bottom of the bottom. Yeah.
I think that's we talk about this. If you really want to, if you want to leave a review, please do.
Yeah.
Actually, our goal is to be the worst rated.
Yeah. Lowest
talk show.
rated fitness talk show in the world.
It's like with my boot camp. I always say, if I want to be the lowest rated class in the whole thing, because I want you to hate this so much.
Yeah. But you keep
coming back. 1 star, please. I want 1-star ratings only.
Don't say that.
Because I want to be number 1.
Number 1. 1 star only. 5 stars is overrated.
Yeah, exactly. 5 stars is too many
People will
stars.
put 1 star now. I think
they'll put 1 star.
You fucked us, yeah.
It's okay. It's fine.
We get banned from Spotify. We've
they
never
can't
seen
ban us.
such a poorly rated show.
Right. Today, we decided we're going to talk about running.
For some reason, yeah, we decided.
Because we're both avid runners, aren't
Yeah, we love running.
we love running.
Yeah.
But I think, because I think so many people, look, you're from an S&C perspective, obviously rehab as well,
Yep.
being from rehab as well in S&C. It's like, I feel, when you, in layman's term of running, people think it's always the first step.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I want to get fit, I want to lose weight, I want to get in some sort of shape, I'm going to start running. And for me, it's always no.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, okay, what would you say? Let's steel man that argument. So we'll say, why would it be a good first step?
Yes.
And then we can say why it wouldn't be.
I'm glad you're here. You're much more
You just want to
intelligent than
slate it. Yeah, okay. So why would it be good? It's easy access,
me. Yeah.
low barrier to entry.
Yeah, you
Kind of.
need nothing.
You need just
Weather.
or legs.
Weather,
you need to
maybe.
be wet. Even then.
Because some people are like, oh, it's cold and wet. I
Or
don't
too
want it.
hot here.
Or too hot.
Yeah.
Actually, people come up with loads of excuses.
There's so many, yeah. But I mean, they have all those same excuses for anything else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, low barrier to entry. If you can, walk,
If you can put
probably
one
run.
foot in front of the other.
You're almost there.
Yeah. If you just lean forwards, you will run.
you kind of fall into it.
Yeah. That's what I say. I always say in my book out, I was like, I was like, all you need to do is just lean forwards and you will start running.
Yeah.
If you lean forward fast enough,
You're
your
almost
legs
there.
will just go.
You're almost there.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
hardest thing is just leaning forwards.
So what else is good about it? Not much.
No, but I think the thing with running is that people actually, when I say they think it's the natural first step. Sure, quite literally, it is the first step. Like you just start, leaning forwards, you start running. But I think people underestimate how hard running actually is on the body. Like you actually requires a lot of strength to run.
Yep.
And stability, and a lot of capacity as well in the muscles and
It's
everything
a very,
else.
very, very repetitive movement
That's it. So like
with a lot of impact.
it's a lot of impact, and you times that by thousands of repetitions.
Yeah.
So, and especially if you've got a weak point in the chain,
Which most people
it's
do.
just which is like 99.9%
Yeah.
of most people. Like no one's really perfect. Like it's just going to get exaggerated over time.
What is it for you? What starts to hurt when you run?
My soul.
Your soul, yeah, your soul. Yeah, after 3 steps, your soul.
No, but look, I've been running the last couple of weeks again. I go in and out of phases of it because it's like vegetables for me. It's like a necessary evil. It's it's like I know, like and I
Probably
like
should.
being able to, because sometimes I got to points where when I was doing weightlifting and power, I got so like
You literally couldn't run.
I couldn't run. Like I was just so like on 2 legs,
Yeah.
stationary.
Yeah.
So I like I
Sagittal.
like being able to run. I like personally running for a purpose, whether I'm chasing or being chased.
Yeah,
I find it
okay.
more functional. I think
doing jungle runs.
yeah, being chased by something or someone. Again, like it's just having it. Like I like playing sports. So
Yeah.
I play rugby.
Yeah.
I play touch rugby. That's where you have a purpose to run because someone, chasing or whatever, running away from someone. And it's for me. I like generally with my conditioning in general. I like, whether it's doing sports or stuff like that, because I just find it less boring.
Yeah.
So just it's like you with your swimming. Like at least you were a sprinter.
Yeah.
You used to just watch tiles for hours.
A long
Counting
time.
the tiles. Yeah. Oh, this tile's chipped today.
This is slightly different color. It's discolored compared to the other one. Oh, interesting.
So yeah, for me, I think running is great, and it's for self-defense is the number one thing.
It's the
Forget
ultimate self-defense.
all these martial arts
No.
and Bruce Lee and all this.
Yeah,
magic.
We're doing hand signals into the microphone.
Yeah.
you can't hear them, but yeah,
like
Aikido.
exactly like all this Krav Maga, anything else. Look, rule number one for self-defense is you run. You get out of there.
Yeah,
If you can, you run.
yeah,
And then if they catch you,
it's the best move.
that's why you got to be able to run fast-ish. Because
Yeah.
if you can run away from someone,
Yeah,
or like a terrorist attack or anything like this, you got to be able to run.
yeah. You're not blocking the explosion.
And again, it's like it's like with animals. It's like what they say with like lions and the gazelles. Like if you're there, they're going to catch the slowest gazelle.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
So you got to be able to run. You don't have to be the fastest runner.
No,
Just be fast.
Just not the
enough.
slowest.
Just don't be the slowest.
yeah.
You know
Which
what I mean?
is achievable.
Yeah.
Aim low, achieve. It's our motto at the Saudi Fitness Talk Show.
Aim low and achieve it.
Aim low, achieve.
Yeah. That's it. It's like you don't like running is for self-defense in life. You never know when you might have to run or sprint or goodness knows whatever. All different scenarios. But just don't be the slowest.
I guess you could
And
say
in this day and age, there's plenty of slow people around.
yeah, there's a few.
So
There's a few.
if you can actually run pretty well,
Yeah.
for even a short amount of distance for a couple of minutes, like a minute or whatever,
Yeah.
you're probably going to be okay.
You could probably say it's the most functional form of conditioning work you could do.
Yeah, and like you said, it's low barrier to entry.
Yeah.
It's inbuilt in us, like
Yeah.
it's most natural form. Like when you look at some of the old texts of how they used to condition the lower body, it was a lot of sprint work, hill sprints, running,
Yeah.
jumping,
Yeah.
hopping.
Yeah.
When they didn't have all the equipment,
That's how
that
you
was
do it.
how they conditioned the lower body.
Yeah.
Running, sprinting, up hills, down hills, pushing sleds, pulling stuff, dragging stuff. It's all that locomotion action is part of our patterns. So it's
And,
important to train that pattern.
Yeah. And I think running now is getting a new wave, a new trend. It's becoming super popular.
Yeah. It's the hybrid.
It's the hybrid athletes.
You're now
Yeah.
a hybrid
Yeah.
if you run.
Yeah. If you do conditioning and some strength
If you
work,
can lift some weights and now you can
you're
actually
now
run.
a hybrid. Yeah.
Wow.
Not just regular fitness. That's what it always was.
It's just that was part
You're
of
now
fitness.
hybrid.
I think I introduced you to it, but we're keen on like the physical education
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Back in America, La Sierra program.
La Sierra, yeah.
And you look at all their standards of just general fitness that like, kids had to be able to do.
Yeah.
The basic requirements.
The
for
original
fitness.
hybrids. They were the
The
original,
original hybrids
Yeah.
was, a lot of different running. Run 1 mile, run 1.5 miles.
Yeah.
This sort of distance. It's not necessarily running a marathon or running half a marathon even.
Yeah, it's
like
doing
5K was like the most, like the minimum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's a good amount. If you can run 5K as a general person, that's like what 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, you can
of
get
running.
through it.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Like I always say, like generally with people, I don't generally want them running unless they can do under 10-minute mile. And I think you don't have to run, even if you want to get into running or you run now, like unless you love long distance and you want to do half marathons and get into marathons and ultra marathons and Ironmans and all this stuff. Like if you can run between 1 to 5, 1 mile to what's 5K, 3 and a bit miles,
Yeah.
something like that. That's a good amount.
That's fine. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
10
for-
to
for
20
most
minutes
people.
of 10 to
Yeah.
30 minutes of running is enough.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be every day. You see these couch to
Couch to 5K.
5K,
Yeah.
nice, but you don't need to start. You don't need to start with 5 days a week or 6 days a week or 7 every day. A lot of people they start running every day.
Yeah.
They've gone from 0.
Ankles, knees, hips, ruined.
Yeah, they just destroy. After 2 weeks, they're destroyed.
Yeah.
And it's like, look, if you've done nothing for years, start with once a week.
maybe running's not even the place to start.
Well, exactly. That's the other thing.
This
But
is
if
the
you
point.
really want to run,
Yeah,
just run once a week for like 10 minutes.
yeah,
That's it.
that's it. Yeah,
You know.
get going.
But exactly, and then you strip it back even further because like you see it as a continuum. It's like there's running, there's walking, then there's crawling before that.
Crawling. Yeah.
But then walking, jogging, running,
Yeah.
and then sprinting.
Yeah.
And in terms of like intensity brackets, I look at like walking as like 20%, something like that. Jogging is like 40-50%. Running is like 70-80%.
Yeah.
And then sprinting is like 90-100%.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
look at intensity brackets. So most people start trying to run when they can't even walk for a mile, or they can't even walk 5K.
Okay, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What about the Olympic walking? They do the distance. What intensity would that be? That's not 20%. They're not jogging. So what?
Those guys are basically running, aren't they? You watch them.
That is the most ridiculous sport ever.
I
sorry.
just don't understand it.
Just the hip action, like the way they shuffle around. It's
Yeah, I mean, but those guys are working intensely.
well, they're walking as intensely as you can.
Yeah.
It's the most aggressive.
So you see them, the referee just pulls them out. Like, no, you're running.
What would be the thing? Is it 2 feet off the ground? That counts as running.
You know what? I've never paid much attention to it. So I just think it's ridiculous.
It's absolutely insane.
I've never bothered to even ask Google.
No.
Let alone
don't know.
like research it or like even I've watched it. You just see it when it's the Olympics every 4 years, and you just flick over to the next one.
You again, what
What's
the
next
hell is
sport?
this? Yeah, let's watch some archery instead.
Like,
or
you're just
something.
gonna watch someone just walking.
It is insane. It's actually
People
mental.
do.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather just
And it's
watch
like it's
paint dry.
it's a long race.
I think watching paint dry is probably more entertaining.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
But walking. Yeah, but that's it. Like, people start with running when there's actually just start walking. And we know, like, we're trainer coaches, and we know, like, in the fitness industry, everyone's looking at steps now. Steps is like the big thing because it's like, right, make sure you're in a deficit and you're doing your steps.
Yeah.
These are like the two.
Everyone cares about these two things. Yeah, it's so important.
These are just the things.
Yeah,
In fitness now, you have to be in a deficit and you got to walk.
Even if you don't know what you're talking about with
Deficit.
your client, you just say, well, deficit steps, right? Make sure you, good, get that, yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, because even like we know that movement is important. You got to be moving. But the intensity and how far and how much movement you do you don't have to be running to get your steps in. Just walk, just go for a stroll.
Yeah,
It's like, because again, we forget sometimes that we're actually animals.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think most
I
people
don't forget when I'm sat next to you. To be honest.
but like, a lot of people, we forget we're animals at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, this is all, we built all this, from our brains and everything else. But like, if we stripped all of it, we would just be like an animal. So like, when we have pets, when our dog starts getting fat, what do we start doing? We walk
You
it
need to
more.
walk it, yeah.
We don't get it running more or sprinting more.
It's like
We're going to take it for a walk. We're going to do twice a day walks or 3 times a day walks or whatever it is. We'll go for a little bit further with the walks.
Yeah, and you feed it a bit less.
And you feed it a bit less.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
So it's like,
Yeah.
and this is it. You don't have to start running. That's not always the first step. Like, and then running, that's like 2 or 3 steps later down the line,
Yeah.
maybe. You build your tolerance to walking, and then maybe you do like hiking. Start, if you got nice nature around, you start going up some hills and stuff like this. Get outside.
It depends on your start point, but definitely just getting stronger on one leg as well to reduce the chance of injury is going to
100%.
be important. Yeah.
And that's it. If you're, we can talk about that, like training for running.
Yeah.
But I think like it doesn't. There's so many progressions even with walking. So you go like hill walking, then you could do carry a backpack or a weighted vest, just 5 kilos, and start walking
Or a
with
child.
that. Or like I do, I carry my child.
Carry a child, yeah.
What's the bull thing there?
Yeah, Milo's...
Milo the bull. That's me.
The bull starts off as a calf and eventually becomes a full bull.
That's literally me.
Yeah,
I've
Poppy's
been
going...
carrying Poppy since she was like 2 months,
Yeah.
3 months old, and now she's nearly 3.
Yeah, you just can't do it when she's 18. It's going to be...
No. But I'm getting weaker and smaller.
You'll get... Yeah.
So I don't think
I
this
don't think it's
theory
going to work.
is working right now.
Yeah, it's not... Yeah, you're just going to be too old.
Yeah, I just think I'm just going to be decrepit and old and everything.
And she's going to be like, Dad, leave me alone. I don't want to be carried
I'm
around."
getting weaker and smaller, and she's getting bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
She'll be carrying me.
She'll be carrying you. Yeah, he's gonna. There's gonna be a point where it switches
Just tips over,
Yeah.
which is like 20 odd.
Yeah.
Roll over. So yeah, then once you can start hiking, you can you're doing like weighted, you're walking with a weight vest or a backpack or whatever. Then start maybe looking at jogging because that's more impact. Even with you just wear a weighted vest and you're walking, that's more impact going through your joints for, and then walking just 20, 30 minutes or 10-minute walks is fine. You don't have to be doing hours and hours, but they've shown, even research has kind of shown like, it's better to do little and frequent walks than just doing like one massive walk.
Huge one,
And that's why, like, even with the desk thing, like if you're in an office, getting up every hour, go make a coffee or go get a water, go to the toilet. It's sometimes in a way like smoking a cigarette.
It's
now you have to go outside the building. So you got to go down the stairs or in the you got to go out.
Yeah, maybe smoking is now
healthier.
It's now healthier because you have to get up.
Yeah.
To go outside, fresh air,
sunlight
with some non-fresh air, but you're balancing. It's
You're
balance.
balancing out.
Balance.
You get sunlight. your eyes.
Social.
Yeah.
Social interaction. Unbelievable.
So shall we start with... Maybe we could find a cigarette sponsor.
I think so. Yeah, I think we should. That'll be the first sponsor of the podcast.
Yeah.
Saudi Fitness Talk Show, sponsored by Marlboro.
Marlboro Light.
Yeah.
Light.
Lights.
Because we're fitness.
Lights, yeah, lights.
Less calories.
Less calories in Marlboro Lights, yeah. Suppress your appetite. Oh my... This is a fitness hack, everyone. We've just discovered.
Yeah, we've discovered. We're going to go... It's full circle.
Full circle.
We've gone full circle.
Yeah.
This is like everyone's journey.
Yeah.
We're now going to start promoting cigarettes again and start going from that.
Improves your running performance.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
I'm trying to think how that...
In the first stages it might, and then it won't. It'll get you up moving.
Yeah.
So, and it will suppress your appetite.
You're actually probably breathing in more. Like
you're getting increased lung capacity.
Most people just can't breathe.
Yeah. And then practicing is a breathing practice. Marlboro Light. Yeah. Marlboro Light.
Fitness talk
if
show.
you're listening, then
it's
open.
holistic. Social, light, walking.
It's an ancient practice. And then smoking
this is
tobacco.
why we built the cigar lounge in the last place.
Exactly. It's part of the whole health and wellness.
It's all part of health and wellness.
Yeah. Balance.
So, I think, then, again, like, the thing with running, though, is that it's a skill, it's a demonstration, and it's an activity. So, it's not, you can build some strength, but you're building it in the most partial ranges of motion for your lower body and upper body. You get extremely stiff very quickly. A couple of weeks of running, you feel stiff. Even after a run, you feel stiff. Even just after one run, you feel stiff.
Yeah.
So you've got to supplement.
Oh, if you haven't run in a while and then you run, the DOMS is insane.
Calves. But even that transition from
so bad.
When I from like just people now the craze of barefoot running and all this going from just trainers to then people start running barefoot.
Yeah,
that's a huge thing.
Yeah,
because I've been wearing Vivo barefoots. Yeah. Sponsor me at some point. I've been wearing them for like 13 years.
Yeah,
and but I remember I didn't run much initially because I was doing weightlifting and all that stuff. But people ask me like, how do I start using these shoes? And it's like, look, just walk, walking around the house, go to the gym in them, wear them in the gym for an hour.
Yeah.
But don't try and start running in these guys.
Yeah.
If you've been wearing trainers for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and you're now wearing Vivos and you go for a run.
Start run on concrete.
Your Achilles has been positioned like this.
Yeah.
And then you're going to demand more of it straight away. So tendinopathies, maybe a nice little Achilles, tear. Yeah. Something like this because that Achilles now is getting lengthened more, hasn't got the support underneath it anymore. Especially if you're a heel striker or something like that, that heel's got to go further now. So definitely for barefoot running,
build
slow transition.
Yeah,
we know how long tendons take to adapt and all this stuff. A lot longer than muscles.
Yeah. So
give yourself a couple of years to get used to it. Start off with small distances. Go for walks in them first. Same progression. Start trying to jog in them for walk and jog, jog and run, all this sort of stuff. Just build it up slowly, and you're going to feel it. Your soleases.
What about that dude that ran Africa recently, the hardest geezer? What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's hard.
That is hard.
That's proper hard. Like running because of the impact. There is an eccentric component to it. So you just.
He was running every single day.
Yeah, look, when you get when you look at biomechanics and that side, running. The muscles should be working generally, especially in the low body, quasi-isometrically. It should be mostly tendinous.
Yeah.
The tendons are just bouncing you in and out of it. Shorten. The muscles should just lightly hold.
Yeah.
The anchor point for the tendons. And that's when you start, when you've got bigger muscle bellies or, if you're not very conditioned to running, your muscles are having to contract and relax. And that's more metabolic, isn't it? Because your muscles are going to fatigue faster. Whereas when you're holding quasi-isometrically, it should be at a lower intensity. They're just holding gently. Yeah. At that 30%, 40%, if the muscles are strong enough to hold, and then the tendons are doing all the work.
Yeah.
That's why you look at, when I worked in the biomechanics lab in Kew with my old mentor, I worked there for about a year, and we worked with a lot of Kenyan runners.
Yeah.
And you just see their muscle bellies; they're like tiny.
Yeah.
Their calf muscles like that big,
Yeah.
and it's just all tendons.
Yeah. I mean, when we learned about it in our biomechanics studies, and it was like we were looking at Usain Bolt, and like the comparison between the size of his hamstring, which is powering the bottom part of his leg, his calf, which was tiny, thin, like strings.
Yeah.
But up top, he's just got powerhouse. He can just drive. Yeah, his hamstring's kicking up, and the bottom part of his leg is so light. There's no muscle on it, so he can just create turnover is insane. Yeah. So that was really interesting because you think, oh no, they need to have a big calf to pat. No, it's nothing to do with that.
The bigger the calf, the slower you're going to be.
you become.
It's like with my calves, it's just stupid. I've got Eastern European calves. They're designed for carrying.
Dad calves.
They carry. It's manual labour calves. You know what I mean? When you wear the boots. It's manual. Yeah, that's it. Bigger muscle bellies are great, for strength and that sort of side. But you see a lot of manual labourers have massive calves. You see those guys, the builders, the contract, like they got big calves with carrying stuff, wearing big boots, all this stuff. Compared to like runners who have no calves. So generally you can see that people who can run well have small calves.
Yeah, and there's something about
and the muscle, but in their quads and hamstrings, they've got smaller muscle bellies.
Yeah, no, but it's just different with sprinting again, isn't it? Like still smaller calves. Probably a little bit
but
bigger
more muscle mass than
a
marathon runner,
than a long distance guy. Yeah.
No, I think going back to that guy who ran Africa. I mean, that's like I've got a friend who he rode the Atlantic and he rode the Indian Ocean.
I know someone did the same.
Yeah.
Rode the Atlantic. Yeah.
And rowing is all concentric, but sure, it's tough. I think probably just the living experience is way harder than actual rowing. Just
being out in
the rowing's gonna be hard. You've got waves and everything else, but just being out in the sea, not seeing anything for months is tough. But I think physically, probably that mentally the rowing might be harder. But because you're just on water, getting tipped out of your boat every so often.
My mate was saying his arse was raw,
Yeah.
just from sat on that seat
for 8 hours a day
and just rowing. Yeah,
and
then it's dark.
That's been interesting. Well, what's harder, like rowing like an ocean or running like a continent?
Well, what would you rather do? Well, no,
I would rather run, honestly.
Hold on, rowing the Atlantic is a lot less time.
Yeah,
it's not.
Because they do the shortest.
Yeah, it took him almost a year. This guy to run Africa. It's like 300 plus days.
You could stop along the way. Yeah. Have a gym session. Have a
coffee. I think he would have. Yeah,
have a coffee. Go have a nice meal one night.
Visiting different countries.
You're visiting loads of countries.
Smoking Marlboro Lights.
Whereas on the ocean, you're just stuck.
No,
you can't
nothing.
go anywhere.
I remember my mate telling me, he said that...
And you have to keep going because the ocean will just take you somewhere.
Well, I think that's what they do. They pick a route where it's just dragging you over to the Bahamas or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're kind of getting towed along a bit.
Basically.
You see, it's fucking piece of piss.
The ocean's doing it for you.
Yeah. And he was saying, like, the whole time they were out in the ocean, they didn't see anything. There was no land. There was no boats. They just didn't see anything.
Yeah. I would rather
is. Yeah.
Because then I could stop at least.
Yeah.
And then you talk to people, see people. You have interactions.
Yeah.
Whereas the rower, especially if you're with someone, imagine if I was, if we were together after a while,
we'd hate each other.
Yeah, 100%. And you're just stuck with one person for was it months? They're doing.
I think so.
A couple of months, 2 months, something like that on the row in the ocean.
I remember he was saying at night time, maybe it was once or a couple of times, there'll be waves that were like taller than a house. Yeah. Just crashing down. You can't see shit because it's cloudy sky.
Yeah, it's dark.
There's no light, pitch black, huge waves crashing. Got knocked out the boat. Luckily, you're tethered on.
Yeah.
If you weren't, you are dead. That's
it. Because if you're asleep, you just get thrown out the boat, or you just drown. You just get tipped up and down, you just drown.
Just done, finished. Yeah.
Water just fills up.
It's actually ridiculous.
100% run.
Yeah, run.
Even if it took me 2 years.
So which continent are we going to run?
What?
Which we're going to do it? Which one?
South America.
South America. Yeah. Yeah. Powered by. Don't say it.
No, we should do
empanadas. That's what we're gonna say.
Yeah, great food, steak and white along the way.
Steak along the way.
Steak along the way.
Yes.
you know, and some ethanol.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
You know, it's nice.
That would be amazing.
And you can walk,
Through the
you can just walk some
and
of
the
it.
landscape changes.
Landscape
You might start in the north, you know, kind of desert or jungle, and then through the mountains.
Yeah.
And oh my god, it would be
With all the leopards and panthers
Yeah.
and all this stuff.
Yeah, they're joining us.
Jaguars.
yeah, just fighting them off.
Fighting
yeah.
them off, and then you go through Peru and you see all that stuff. Then you go down to Chile. That's
Chile. Here we go, Connie.
That's where the it's the barbarians.
The barbarians are at. Yeah, that would be cool. But that's a big continent. That's long.
Yeah, but you got so many resources along the way. I feel great.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Be
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
No, I think I'd much rather run. And even though I think the sea doing that rowing would just be brutal.
Yeah.
It'd just be horrendous. So
And what other challenge? They have cycling ones. Cycle across America. They do that. I think.
give me your ass.
Your ass again.
I do a
Sat
cycling
down.
class, and after 20 minutes, my ass is killing me. I'm pathetic.
You get piles after
I'm
like 20
I'm
minutes.
pathetic. I was so pathetic. My ass just kills me. I just don't understand. I know you would adapt to it with time, but I just don't want to adapt to it.
I don't want calluses on my ass. I don't want it.
I don't want to adapt to it.
Not interested.
No. And I remember my friend. He cycled from the Land's End to up in Scotland, John O'Groats or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That route. And again, he got something. The thumbs went numb. The nerves just from being on his hands the whole time on the bars. He lost feeling in his
my
thumbs for
God.
like months, and his arse as well. Something happened with his arse.
Lost feeling his ass.
So you got your hands are numb, your arse is numb.
Yeah,
That's not a great place to be.
It's
is it?
terrible. Yeah, that's not good. And you've got what's his name, Ross Edgley, swam around the UK.
Yeah.
That's I think that's the hardest. Definitely, that's ridiculous. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
That took him about a year as well, and he had like this wetsuit rash,
Jellyfish in his face.
jellyfish in his face. His tongue was falling out because of the salt.
Yeah.
It was just like breaking apart. His tongue was
cold.
literally
He was swimming
dissolving.
what was he doing? Like 4 hours? Was he doing 6 hour stints, 2 hour rest, or something?
Yeah,
like that?
something like this, all the way
All
around.
through the night.
And he'd have like these like riptides and whirlpools and things. And he just stuck in a whirlpool for like 3 hours. You haven't moved, just paddling, trying to get out of it.
No.
Dreadful.
So
Honestly.
actually, running's probably the
I
easiest.
think running easy.
You get chafing.
Yeah.
You
chafing.
get some like blisters probably.
Yeah, but plasters and things.
Plasters.
You can
good shorts.
good shorts, good t-shirt.
Nipples.
Nipple chafe.
Nipple chafe
tape
is a real thing.
It does happen. Yeah.
I'd rather run.
Yeah, I think that's why everyone's doing it. It's easy. Must be.
So many people really hate us.
They hate us. Well, that's what we're trying to get, the lowest rated podcast. So this
Yeah,
is the
that's
goal.
true.
Yeah,
I think because you know what? Yeah, it's hard, but it's also easy at the same time.
Is it? I don't know. We're not doing it. There's a reason why we're not doing it.
Yeah, because it's hard.
Because it's hard. Yeah. No, it is hard. It's fucked.
You look at like David Goggins. He takes running to an extreme, doesn't he? He's got no knees,
Just no knees.
no ankles.
No,
His hips are screwed.
Yeah.
But he is someone who's he's all mental, not physical.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's totally mental.
Pure mental drive. But
Because he
it
doesn't
shows
care
what
about
he
his
can
body.
do. Doesn't care, no. Broken down. It's ruined. His body's ruined.
Yeah.
Gone. Yeah.
So he's definitely going to have replacements eventually
Yeah.
of everything: hips, knees.
One of my mates back home he's hybrid. I'm going to take the piss out of you now, Jack. He's hybrid. He does powerlifting
Yeah.
and ultra marathons.
Oh, he's followed that trend now.
Yeah, yeah. So do them in the same day. So like a powerlifting total in the morning.
Oh, for God's
Okay.
sake! Why?
And then he'll go and do 100k in the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is insane. That is.
Yeah.
That is.
I'm just messing around, but that is tough. Like,
That is fucking hard.
can't really talk about much to be honest.
No. Yeah, like just like either one of those things. I'm like, that's tough. Doing a total.
But I bet after the powerlifting meet, you weight like 40, you potentiated. Like that run must feel great.
Yeah, the first K. So fast, dude. Yeah, and then yeah, I mean, but
But that's a popular thing at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
I see a lot.
Yeah.
There's that guy Fergus something. He's on YouTube. He's doing a lot of. He does powerlifting and ultra runs and all this sort of stuff. And I think, why? How do you think those things, merge together so well? How can people do that?
well, I think you have to be smart with your training. Obviously,
Yeah.
you have to be super smart.
Because they're not really They're not competing, are they?
Yeah, but you've got this whole interference effect thing. Like,
Yeah, sure. You're never going to be
Yeah.
the best powerlifter,
Right.
and you're never going to be the best runner.
No, but so you got this interference, but yeah, like you're saying, it's not like, it might be tougher, or say tougher, it might be just as difficult to try and balance. Right, I'm going to try and peak in 8 different lifts rather than just 3 lifts and a big run. Right, Jesus, 10 events. How the hell do you train for that?
Because you just can't spend as much time practicing,
there's only so many hours.
Your nervous system can't adapt, more to one than the other.
Yeah. So you have to be really smart with your training. But then look, if you train like that, you're gonna be super fit. Mm-hmm. Any volume you're doing in powerlifting, it's just fuck all, isn't it?
Nothing compared to.
You're not like gassed out after a set of 10 squats. It's just you're actually, you're fatigued in your legs or whatever.
Especially doing powerlifting, you're probably only doing 1 to 5 reps.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Well, I think that's what you'd have to do, right? You'd stay in those lower rep ranges. You're not trying to create any DOMs or anything like that.
Yeah.
You're getting enough from the long runs.
Yeah, because powerlifting is pretty much all neuromuscular, like nervous system based.
Yeah, you don't want to get heavy as well for the running and everything.
And even with that type of training, you won't put on a lot of muscle mass. With power, I mean, look, people see the big power, but you don't have to be. There's there's weight categories. Like, there's people who are like 60 kilos. Doing powerlifting because it's all relative. Yeah, and you're building just a lot of recruitment, isn't it?
I mean, it might help your running. Like if you're really strong, like we were saying before. Yeah. If you're really strong, especially the lower body, and you go to run, you're just going to be more resistant to fatigue. I think so.
And then endurance is more metabolic. Yeah. Aerobic system. Power is more anaerobic. Yeah. You kind of see how they could can complement each other.
Yeah, in some way.
I mean, they're not gonna interfere with each other that much. Yeah. Because they're so different. Yeah. Yeah. Where you're doing like 1 rep. This is like 10,000 repetitions.
Yeah. Yeah. At super low load. Yeah. 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 You're working at 20% intensity and 85% plus. Or whatever.
Yeah. But I think the thing is then you're still gonna.
It's fatigue training.
Yeah,
fatigue.
and just impact. Yeah, load on the spinal load.
Yeah, spinal load. I mean, so think how your legs would feel. Maybe probably after you've run, you got to go and squat or deadlift the day after. Yeah, that'd probably be tough. Yeah, yeah.
I think you have to do some decompression work as well. Like get
upside down,
hanging from one of the boards, the reverse boards, or from your ankles. That would be nice. Even when I was doing a lot of weightlifting, I used to decompress a couple of times a week after heavy sessions because my spine just felt like
just loaded up.
Yeah, especially with weightlifting because you've got the 150 kilo whatever it is bar landing on you. And sometimes just the doing a couple of minutes of decompression work at the end just felt so good. Just lengthening out, especially from boots, because when you're hanging from your hands, you can't really relax.
No. Yeah, you can do it with straps. Like you can strap on, but even then, it's kind of pulls on your wrist. It's not super comfortable. The boots are good though.
Boots are really nice because they distract your ankle, like your knee, everything. You just feel it everywhere. Ankle, knees, hips, spine.
Yeah, all the blood goes to your head. Your neck.
Distract your head off. Yeah. I think again, how would in the gym you mentioned it earlier, like in the gym, like. How would you prepare some people for running? Say they're a novice. What would you be looking at? Well, they want to get into running.
Yeah, so I think you look at body,
or they've started some running, but they want to start doing some strength training with it.
I think a good thing to look at would be just their power to weight ratio to start with. It's I think I spoke with Ian about this. Ian Wood.
Is this a nice way of saying? Overweight,
but yes, power to weight ratio. It's the scientific way of saying you're a fat bastard.
Are you carrying too much excess weight?
He said a good thing. He was like, if you can do, let's say, you want to run, but you can't do any pull-ups. Let's say, well, how about because the pull-ups are a good measure of your power to weight. Essentially, I know it's upper body, but. Yeah, if you can go from 0 to 5 pull-ups,
you're such a swimmer.
You've gotten a bit stronger. Always pull-ups. You've gotten a bit stronger. You've probably lost some weight. Yeah, and the more that increases, the better chance you're going to have of being a healthy body weight to then go through all the.
This is calisthenics, isn't it?
This is calisthenics.
Because calisthenics just get easier the lighter you are.
Yes. Yeah.
As long as you maintain your strength.
Yeah. Best way to get good at pull-ups is cut a leg off. Yeah. Cut a leg off, and you're going to do 10 more pull-ups. Yeah.
This is it.
But it doesn't have to be pull-ups. I mean. All that body weight stuff be a good place to begin, and then lower body strength training on one leg, training on one leg for sure.
Yeah.
Start off standing on one leg, and you go into like your single leg, or just lunges,
Single leg
all that
squats.
kind of stuff, step ups, everything. Yeah.
All this stuff.
Yeah.
Because again, it's in balance as well,
Yeah.
left and right.
Yeah.
You know, and you think when you're running or even walking, like if you just do enough of it, if you always got if it's like 60-40 between the left
Yeah.
and the right,
And then you
know,
start running
between
10Ks,
strength,
and
it's just going to get exaggerated.
Yeah.
Something's going to go,
think about all the people we see. Like everyone's got one leg stronger than the other. This and
especially
that.
with fatigue.
Especially with fatigue, it's just going to get worse and worse. Yeah.
I saw it the other day with a client who, ran when fresh, videoed it, ran at the end of a session after an hour of training,
Yeah.
and then you just start seeing more stuff:
Yeah.
knees, ankles, shoulders, lower backs, all
Yeah.
this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a nice way as well as a coach to not only just look at running gait, or if you're doing 3D analysis, or you got access to all this fancy equipment. Don't just do it when people are fresh. If they're doing long distances and they want to run, look at them fatigued.
Yeah.
Pre-fatigue them with some strength training, conditioning, whatever else. Then get them to run, and then look at what's going on.
Yeah.
And you see them after
You'll
an
see
hour.
a lot. Yeah.
You see way more.
Yeah.
And because the aim of you don't necessarily, because like when we do assessments, you can change the variables. You can add more speed. You can add more load. Instability, whatever it is, complexity. But especially if you're looking at running, they're not exactly sprinting. So don't worry about with your assessments adding more speed because they're not sprinters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you want to find what
Yeah,
their
it's
general
efficiency.
pace is.
Yeah.
12 kilometers an hour, whatever it is. And then you want to see fatigue because that's the aim of the game. It's just an endurance event.
Yeah.
So they're going to probably hold pretty much the same speed,
Yeah.
give or take, obviously. But then you want to see them after an hour
Yeah.
of what they're going to be like.
Yeah.
How is
Reduce
their
that
body
breakdown.
looking?
Yeah. It's efficiency. Yeah. Especially with those distances.
That's how,
Yeah.
assessment. If you are coaches looking at some runners or people, clients who are, running. That is, look at them not only fresh, but look at them tired. Look at them fatigued. You know what I mean as well.
Yeah. I think that's really important. Yeah.
So single leg, basic. Just get them
Super
stand on one
basic.
leg,
Yeah. Start with that.
and not just for 10 seconds.
No. Hold it.
Time.
Yeah.
1 minute, 90 seconds, 2
Yeah.
minutes. Because again, like with running, you got to train strength, endurance.
Yeah.
You got to build that base first, especially with these guys.
Yeah.
Then you start. You can do a strength phase here and there
Yeah.
and build up to that.
Yeah, yeah.
But you want to build up that anaerobic, that power, ATP system, whatever. Eventually, but first, you just got to be able to endure. And then you start adding some speed in, or
Yeah.
everything else. Like build that base.
Yeah.
Can they do stuff? Can they do 15 reps, 20 rep squats? Ideal.
Yeah. Perfect.
You
Yeah.
know, do high reps.
Yeah.
High rep squats, split squats, lunges, walking, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They've got to be able to.
Yeah, I think it's smart to spend a lot of your time training on one leg. As a runner, it's the right thing to
Because
do.
you're never on two.
Yeah, you're never on two. You start building, start off with body weight and just slowly progress as you go. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's it. So like, there's always, and that's why like maybe powerlifting and running don't interfere that much because with powerlifting you're on two legs.
yeah,
You're on two legs. You got a wider stance.
yeah. There's a
and
big upper
minimal
body
reps,
lift in there.
Whereas running you're on one leg,
Yeah,
and it's only just for a split second.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So, because again, when you're looking at training, we talk about before like equilibrium, trying to balance things out.
yeah,
That's why, say you're a runner, say you're going into season, you're in season, you're going to be doing more volume of running and everything else. Maybe with your weights, you do less volume of
yeah. That's what it
repetition.
should
Maybe
be.
you go into
Yeah.
a strength phase,
Yeah,
like powerlifting maybe.
Yeah.
That might help potentiate you, feel
Yeah.
stronger,
yeah,
and add more load. Go to bilaps. You're not competing with all
the
the
main
running that
thing.
you're doing.
Yeah.
Because we want to keep the main thing the main thing.
There we go. It gets repeated a lot. Yeah.
Keep the main thing. Look, you're running.
Yeah.
You're not a squatter. You're not a power.
Yeah.
You're not trying to do. You're not trying to do a 20 rep split squat challenge or a lunge challenge or whatever.
Off season, sure, go for it.
Yeah, it's
But-
when you're running less,
Yeah.
you're indoors more, you're in the gym more.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, unless you're in Saudi where the summer is the winter
Yeah.
season, the off season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like the total opposite. Where the summer is like the winter. I have to stay indoors more. But yeah, and that's it. I think generally you're not crossing over so much on the one leg because they're going to be doing so much one leg. You want it to be more specific. You want them to be getting most of the adaptation around their skills, right?
Yeah.
Running, cycling, whatever it is, just running. and they do maybe just 1 or 2 sessions of strength a week. You know,
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a lot.
no.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, that sort of model, you know, again, if you're getting new to running, then yeah, spend more time on one leg
Yeah,
because it's not going to matter anyway.
Yeah.
You're not doing big distances probably,
Yeah.
or
losing weight helps.
big time.
Yeah.
Like I said at the beginning, like for me, the biggest, I really believe you have to deserve to run. You know, because it can be, yes, it's accessible. If you feel great afterwards with all the endorphins and all this stuff, you don't have to. You know, it can really damage you, and people just don't appreciate that. You know, whether lower back injuries, knee injuries, ankle injuries, even neck, you know, pains and shoulder pain, or even everything,
Yeah,
because of just the compression. And if you're holding a lot of excess weight, you know, subcutaneous fat or inflammation, whatever it is, you need to get rid of that first. So for me, it's like, can you run? You know, I got this from one of my mentors, Tom. It was like, can you run a mile in under 10 minutes? If you can, then you can start practicing running.
yeah,
You know, and build a program. We start doing it once a week, twice a week, 3 times, whatever it is. If you can't, look, you're better off getting off your feet,
Yeah.
low impact.
Yeah.
Start with assault bikes. I like assault bikes.
yeah.
It's that cross patterning.
Yeah,
You know, no impact, no load, but you can still really sprint and
Yeah.
get some
You
good
go
energy
hard.
system,
Yeah.
which is super hard.
yeah.
Safely, you know,
Arse issue, but you know.
arse issue. Yeah, I mean, you got any other alternative? I like maybe doing footwork drills, build that that shift in
Yeah.
your body weight. I don't know, other things.
Yeah.
What would
I
you
think-
use?
to be honest,
Prowlers.
Prowlers
know,
are perfect. Prowlers are awesome.
using
And they,
sleds and
they
all
can
that.
be super light, and you just start
Super safe, super light.
Yeah, yeah.
sled work,
I just think like any general conditioning is okay.
lots of walking.
Like use the rower, the skier, whatever
Yep.
it is. Like I don't think it. Yeah, it can matter, but I don't think it's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Whatever you can stick to and you can do
Oh, I was just thinking more in like like a class situation.
in a class situation.
Because you got
Okay.
say you got some people running or on a running station, like on sometimes I'll just put an assault bike next to it.
Yeah,
So look, don't go on the woodway or the curve,
Yeah.
whatever. Just go on the assault bike.
jump on the bike.
Because then you feel like you're still doing something, like
Doing-
you're still part of it.
Yeah, I'm
instead of doing rowing
I'm
or
sat,
ski
I'm
erg.
sat down running. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
You
pretty
know.
much yeah.
So that was what I was thinking is there's that
Okay.
sort of you're not making them feel like they're doing something totally different.
Yeah.
But yeah, general
For
conditioning.
general condition,
Get them on the ergs, bikes, skis, row, whatever ergs.
just get fitter. Yeah,
Get fitter,
Yeah.
lose the mass, do some
Yeah.
farmers carries, do all this
Yeah.
stuff. But you're getting your steps in, but you're not having to go through big ranges of motion just yet,
Yeah.
or concentric based
Yeah.
training like sleds and ergs and all this sort of stuff. Get the body fat down,
yeah,
get lighter,
yeah.
build some strength,
Get strong as you
With
go.
it.
Yeah,
and then test again,
Yeah.
see how you're running. Once a month or in 3 months' time, test your 1 mile. If you can do under 10,
oh, if you honestly like within 4 to 6 weeks, say if you ran an 11-minute mile,
yeah,
with 4 to 6 weeks
Easily
of training,
under 10.
you'd be under 10.
because anyway, you'd have adapted from that first time.
You're just a second go, you're probably fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're around 11, 12 minutes, and you just did a solid month
Yeah.
to 6 weeks of that kind of training, you'd be good to go.
Yeah, lose the weight and get stronger. Get your body ready to run.
Yeah,
Build up that eccentric strength. Get the control, the stability, the balance,
yeah,
all this stuff. Learn it. Some people can't even cross pattern. They
Yeah.
can't even link up their arms and their legs.
yeah,
Or they've got massive anterior tilts in their
Yeah.
pelvis, so they're just loading up that
yeah.
L4, L5, just smashing it.
Yeah,
With all the impact. So get some structural balance.
Hmm.
Get things that maybe some bones that are in the wrong positions, or even out some things. Get stronger, just generally. Do your deadlifts,
Yeah.
do all this stuff, lose some weight, and then look to and you just enjoy it more.
yeah, yeah.
If you're heavy and you're running a lot, it's just not fun.
Yeah.
I know. Even when I've been heavier, when I try running, it just feels so heavy. Like it's so much impact. It just feels heavy, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to
Yes.
feel light and bouncy. You don't want to feel like you're just slogging, dragging.
Dragging your
You're-
ass through the.
Yeah,
it's
just
horrible.
dragging
yeah.
along the roads is
Yeah.
horrendous.
Yeah,
From there,
yeah.
well, I think, yeah,
That's some solid advice.
I think it's some good advice.
Yeah.
We don't hate running,
No,
but we appreciate running.
appreciate. Have some respect for running.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And look, if any of you guys, want to ask any questions about running for yourselves, put a, comment down below, on whichever platform you're listening to us
Yeah.
on.
We are everywhere now.
Yeah, and just talk with us. You know, I think we're going to start doing some Instagram lives maybe soon, and
We have guests on.
That's coming next week on next
week,
episodes.
Yeah.
So you know, we want to interact. So any questions, especially about today on this episode about running, how you can get into it. I mean, look, you know, we're rehab S&C based, so it's more the gym side and strength training for that, or recovering from some injuries. Basically, if you're looking for more, you know, running based programs, probably not the guys.
No.
There's a lot better people out there who can advise you on that. Even AI is better than us on actual running specific programs, building up to 5Ks and stuff like that. Much better people out there. Where I can refer you a few people like that. So, you know, feel free to hit us up and let us know how we can help. We can always point you in the right direction.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Well, we'll see you on the other side next time.